Nearly 47,000 students entered the Library of Congress Letters About Literature writing contest, and 2 of the 3 national winners are young ladies from right here in Chicago. Hyde Park's Akosua Haynes wrote her award-winning letter for Hidden Figures author Margot Lee Shetterly, and here's why this 10-year-old has decided to reach for the stars.
To become an astronaut since I was 4 years old. I was going to a lecture with a friend called Girls Take Flight. I was watching Rylee Johnson talk a little bit, and then after the lecture, I was just walking and she lifted me up and I said, I just want to be just like her one day. I wrote to Miss Shetterly because it was a very compelling story. And I could really relate to all her characters, like Catherine Goebel and Rylee Johnson, and how they went through segregation, how they went through all of that, but they still persevered. And Catherine Johnson went on through history, and that's what I want to happen to me. Reading your book, Hidden Figures, made me more excited about becoming a NASA astronaut. Learning that John and Glenn trusted Catherine with his life because of her superior math skills motivated me to take my own math homework more seriously. I love math, but some of my friends don't. I wanted them to read your book to see the magic in math and how useful it can be. Oh, and Leo.
We're proud of her effort, even if she didn't win, just the fact that she persevered and she went through the whole process. It was almost like a homeschool process that she went through. I think she wrote about 10 drafts, and she's just such a spirited, energetic, educated, sweet child.
I think that young African-American girls should definitely read Hidden Figures, because at first I didn't think, am I going to want to read this? But when I finally got like halfway through, like most other books, it was a very good book. And it really inspired me to be the best I could be, and I still wanted to be an astronaut more than ever. And I wanted to be smart like Catherine Johnson. And I want other girls to be smart too, and I want other girls to persevere and go through their dreams, even if it's going to the moon and back or not.
Wow, incredible.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, 13-year-old Rylee Johnson is Chicago's 2nd national winner in the writing contest. Here's how she channeled a painful loss into a very touching and moving letter.
One night, my siblings and parents were in the living room watching our favorite show. A commercial came on, so I got up to make cookies in the kitchen. Then, my older sister, Sydney, started whispering, "Mom? Mom?" No answer. I looked over to see my dad standing over a shaking body. "I'm calling 911. She had had an aneurysm and wasn't waking up. I spent those few days in the hospital room listing all the things that I did wrong and what I would change when she woke up. She never did. Elizabeth and me, she experienced her own death, but I experienced a death of a loved one, and we were both really young. Most of the time in the book, after she had died and was in Elsewhere, she was talking a lot about how she got none of her life and she was missing out, and she hadn't even made it to senior year when everybody else in Elsewhere was a little bit older, had gotten all the experiences they really wanted to out of life. And I was thinking I didn't get all the experience I wanted to with my mom, like my first dance or my high school graduation. I felt like she had a lot of acceptance and a lot of lessons to learn, and I wanted to learn those same lessons to have the type of peace she did at the end of the book.
So, Rylee, what do you have? Just the joy of all the hard work that she's been doing over the years makes me extremely proud. And I know her mom would be ecstatic. She is the one that got her and her siblings into reading every day, even when they weren't in school. When they wanted to see movies, they had to read the book before going to see the movie. So she's the one that inspired them to always read. So I know she would be more than happy knowing that she took first place.
Before I wrote the letter, I hadn't actually written a full piece of cohesive writing about my mom that I could look back on and write down that she wasn't with me anymore on paper. So once I did, it felt a lot more real, like I could finally get over the fact that I wasn't going to have a mother anymore and that I could learn the lesson. Thank you for a world where my mother can see me writing this letter from an observation deck. Thank you for the idea that once I leave this world, I will return. Thank you for the lessons I can't live without, and the book I won't forget. With heart, Rylee Johnson.
So touching. Please welcome our national winners, Akosua Haynes and Rylee Johnson. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, ladies. First, can I just say how proud we are and how emotional I am right now just listening to both of you guys' stories. My heart is just full. Go, Ryan.
Yeah, 47,000 students entering this competition. What did it mean? What was your reaction, Rylee, when you got the news?
I was immediately surprised, and I didn't think that it was actually going to happen for me. I mean, the state award was really interesting, but then to win nationally was just, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, Akosua, what did you think? First place.
Well, at first when my mom told me, I didn't believe her, and then she showed me the email, and I leapt out of the car and started jumping and screaming around.
Yeah. Okay, Akosua, you read Hidden Figures, the hard adult version one, right? Before you even, the movie came out or any of that. How long did it take you to get through the book?
Well, it took me about a month because I read other books in between to take a break, and it was a really long book, but it was compelling, and it had like 300 footnotes and extensive bibliography, so.
Wow. If you could meet Miss Shetterly, what would you like to say to her?
I would like to say to her, thank you for taking the time to write this book and researching, because not many people knew about these women. Right. So I would thank her for sharing their stories with us.
Right. Yeah. And to be so young and to be so dead set on knowing what you've known since you were 4 years old that you wanted. Most kids at 10 years old don't know what they want to be, and you've known since 4 that you want to be an astronaut. You're not wavering one bit. Well, you're going to NASA, aren't you? Yeah, I kind of believe that. Yes. I think that's happening.
And Rylee, let's talk to you for a minute. I mean, people that have suffered loss, it's hard to channel that pain into something positive. How were you able to do that?
I was reading through the book and was seeing how Liz suffered and having other people watch her really struggle accepting her own death. And I didn't want that to happen to me or have other people deal with me struggling that much. So I decided I wanted to take that turn in my life.
How do you think this letter helped you, not just with the contest? I mean, it got you great rewards with the contest, but personally, was it therapeutic for you to finally, like you said, for the first time, put it on paper and then it kind of made it real? Did that help?
It felt a lot better for me to say it out loud or write it down on paper so I can know that this really happened and I was really going to get through it. And then even better, that I could have a book and an author and a story to relate my life to.
What would you say to other kids who have suffered tragic loss like that?
Do things at your own pace. It's really your own journey and everybody's is different, so you don't have to rush yourself to get to a certain point. But also make sure you're doing it in a way that's helpful to you and doesn't harm yourself or others.
Pretty incredible that 2 of the 3 winners from Chicago. Yeah. You get $1,000 on top of it. Akosua, what are you going to do with the money?
Buy more books, maybe?
Can I have a loan?
No.
No.
Okay, what do your friends think about this? Have you, I mean, I'm sure they're super excited for you, right? Or do they know?
They know. But when I first told my friends, they were like, Akosua, did you win this? And then I was like, yes. And they were just like hugging me, and I was like, thank you.
Right, but nobody set you up for a loan besides Ryan. Rylee, what plans do you have?
I'm not really sure about it. I've kind of grown like 4 inches over the school year, so I'm probably going to get some more clothes because I don't have any more clothes.
Yeah. Good. Well, listen, thank you guys both for coming on. Such an inspiration for other young people who look like you.